Okay. Part 2. So, the least will be greatest, right? So the servant of all, like Messiah, who was a servant to all that he came across, would humble himself as a servant, even though he was the Son of God, deserving of the whole creation was made for him. And what did he do? Decide to humble himself so that he could share it with others. Interesting. And so you look at Paul, right? He says he's the least. He's the least of all the apostles, least. Joanna, come on. Least of all the saints. And yet, look how much he worked. Look how much he went to serve the Gentiles and serve his Hebrew brothers and sisters, right? To humble them and show them the way. Show them, the real walk. Humble yourself and be a servant so that you can be great in the kingdom to come. So, anyways, be hospitable. So, you see that also with Elisha and I can't remember, the Shunammite or something like that. I have to remember that, right? That woman humbled herself. She was a wealthy woman and invited him, made a place for him in her home, so whenever he was traveling by, he could stay there. And look at the reward she got. She got a son. Was barren up until that point, got a son. Look at the widow. They got food and oil, right, to survive a famine. They wouldn't have survived without God sending the man of God there. And then to pray over her son when he was inevitably going to die. There was many reasons why he was there. And same thing for the Elisha and the other woman. So, anyways, right? You bless the prophet, you receive a reward, right? That's their mission. That's their job, is to go and serve others, to do what the will of God is, right? Do what he told you to do. Go say what he told you to say. Show the people signs and wonders, so that they can't say that they never heard, that they never saw. Even if they don't have eyes to see, ears to hear, on the day of judgment, they will be without excuse, because he'll be like, I sent my servants the prophets early, rising up early, right? All the time. Calamity never comes before the prophets are sent, persecuted and killed. So, anyways, but you see that it's rare, right? It's rare that the prophets are blessed. So, and that's been my experience. Believe it or not, that's what God's called me to be and do. And had a very interesting experience, with two women this day. So I go 40 minutes to an hour across town, walk. Come on. And what's it called? So the coffee shop I was wanting to go to, didn't realize, was closed today. One day of the week it's closed, Monday. So, I was like vexed for a moment, and I'm like, well, where am I going to go? Because I want a coffee, but I also, because of ADHD, caffeine helps me focus. So I don't need like a lot, I just need enough. Like a daily or weekly, it depends, what daily or weekly portion that helps my body work. So, and it really helps to keep you warm when you're in a cold environment for hours and hours and hours, potentially all day. So, I prayed and got led to one. And I almost didn't go in because they had a sign right on the front door. It said, no dogs. Starting June, I think it was June or July this year. And I almost let that intimidate me. But then I remembered that God has given me special provision with Joanna. She has a purpose in my life. And she does work for him too. She is also a servant of the Lord. Hi, Jojo. Oh, that's Jojo. Oh, Bubby. Anyways. So, she protects me in many ways. And also brings peace and joy to people. They love her. It's rare that somebody doesn't, and they're usually very demonic. It's pretty obvious. So, anyways. All right. Come on, Joe. So, All right. So I went into the coffee shop and said, well, your kingdom come, your will be done, Lord. Either they'll persecute and shalom, shake the dust off my feet and go to the next place, or I am received in peace. My peace abides there. And as soon as I walked in, there's 2 employees at the bar where they serve the coffee. They both smile at her. Both smile, big old smile on their face. That's usually what I see when people look at Joanna. They love her. It's just like love just hits them. It's like she just emanates it. So, stop. All right, green light. So, anyways, so I was like, all right, we're good. And that was the case. I think I flashed his light. I think his blinker might be out. He's just flashing his floodlights. Anyways, so I was like, thank God. And the coffee was excellent. I asked God if I could have some eggs, because eggs are pretty hard to get when you're homeless. Like cooked eggs, you know. So I asked if it was okay to spend the money to get that, and he said yes. Had a nice gluten-free egg and cheese sandwich and chilled out, and immediately received my peace, and was led to these scriptures. That video, that lady talking about it, and it was like I got download in my brain about it. Just led to go do a little word study, look at those words. And then it was like, boom, bunch of experiences from the past 4 years of my walk with Messiah just flashed through my head. I'm like, you're funny, Lord. You're very funny. I've caught on to it, you know, over the years, but I wasn't really taking it serious until the last 10 months. No, 9 months, right? Yes, 9 months. Since going homeless in February, when God told us to leave Phoenix. And so we were put in a very vulnerable position where our only income was my mother's disability, monthly disability. And that was it. Like, if we were in a populated area, we could DoorDash, but literally it's like God made it so where all the money that I made from DoorDash was going in the gas tank, and it was going towards groceries. It was like we didn't make a single bit of profit at all. And that was a sign for me. Yeah, it's like, yep, he's calling me away from work, at least DoorDash. And so we were pretty much at the mercy of God and people's kindness. And a lot of people are not kind. A lot of people are very cold-hearted, whether they call themselves Christian or they are a Christian. I have my experiences. Most people are fake, or most people are brutal. Unloving, uncaring, and have deceived themselves. So, anyways, there's been few people. Usually if I show up to a church, or me and my mom when we were traveling together, say for example, the past Sunday, it was 2 people that blessed me. And maybe they thought it was small, but only one person prayed for me. Hearing my story, only one even inquired as to my testimony and who I am, what I'm going through. Come on. Well, that day. Come on. And that same person was the one that prayed for me. And then she went and talked to someone else, and they both blessed me. Come on. So, anyways, sorry, I was paying attention to that car. That's usually what it is. It's usually only one. There's only one or a few lights, and the church is very dark. It would be totally dark without them. And for whatever reason, that's the way God has made it. And I used to have the wrong perspective where it would people's lack of love and their rejection of the way God made me to be and his Holy Spirit, it used to really vex and pain me. And it still does in part, but I focus more on the righteous, and I focus on, okay, Joe, who am I going in there to bless or rescue? It's not me, but you know what I mean? If I'm obedient, who's going to get a blessing? Who's going to get provision in the times, the great tribulation that's right around the corner? Some people call it the flippening. Some people call it the great shaking, right? You see those, well, not the flipping. Well, it's not expressed that way, but right, it's right, the high mountains, right, and the hills are brought low, and the valleys are raised up high, right? The meek will inherit the earth, right? And the rich will be humbled. The proud will be humbled. So that's what I'm talking about. That pattern is Old New Testament. It's in there over and over and over again. And then it climaxes after the judgment, right? The sheep inherit salvation, the goats inherit destruction. So, all right, I'll have to do part 3.